You see him on the news.
CNN.com contributor, Dean Obeidallah. So, Dean...
Watch him at comedy clubs.
When I say Mecca, do you think of a holy place or an urban clothing line?
Read his articles. And you hear him on the radio. The Dean Obeidallah Show is on live right here on SiriusXM Progress, Channel 127.
And welcome to the show, brothers and sisters of the Resistance. It is Thursday, January 3rd, our second day of the new year. It was a big day. Oh my gosh, my friends. Today, two big things happened. One, Democrats took control of the House, first time since 2010. And second, Donald Trump officially became a lame duck president. I can't even put into words how excited I am watching what happened today. So I put it into music. Here's a medley we cut together expressing how excited and happy I am about what I saw on television today in Washington, D.C. Let's hit it.
Wow, I feel good. I knew that I would not. Celebrate good times, come on. Let's celebrate. It's a beautiful day.
My friends, today, the House of Representatives, next up, the U.S. Senate and the White House. That's where we're heading to. And here is the excitement. Here's how it all began. Here is clip number 2, Nancy Pelosi today.
If the gentlewoman from California would please raise her right hand, which you're doing, do you solemnly swear that you will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that you will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that you take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that you well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office on which you're about to enter, so help you God?
I do.
Congratulations, Madam Speaker.
There was history made. Nancy Pelosi returns as Speaker of the House and then moments later swears in the 116th Congress, which is remarkable diversity. You've got a Democratic Party now in the House that looks like the United States of America. It represents the beautiful diversity, the mosaic that is this nation, while the Republicans sworn in look like Donald Trump. And in the long run, which side do you really want to be on? It's pretty clear. Let's look at quickly the breakdown of the House and the Senate from a political point of view, so everyone's on the same page. There are now 235 Democrats in the House, 199 Republicans. There's still one seat undecided in North Carolina where the Republicans clearly committed fraud, and no one's being sat there until that's resolved. So we're at 235 to 199 right now. In the Senate, 53 Republicans to 47 Democrats going on. Overall, much more impressive, 125 women in this new House and Senate, altogether including Republicans, 52 African Americans, 37 Hispanics. Also, there were so many firsts that I find inspiring. And maybe some people go like, well, big deal. I can't help it. I am moved and inspired by it. I mean, Congresswoman-elect, now Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, who was on right before the holidays, a Minnesota Democrat who was a Somali refugee, who came here 23 years ago, who today would literally be banned from coming to this country because of Donald Trump's Muslim ban. And here's a clip of Ilhan last night in the airport talking about arriving in the United States of America at the airport with her father 23 years ago. Let's hear clip 3.
As we exited our planes, we realized that him and I had not returned on that same airport since the day we first landed here as refugees. And so, you know, it's a very really overwhelming and emotional time for us. And I don't think, you know, as my dad said, you know, he had high hopes for us about the opportunities we would have when we came to this country. But I don't think he imagined that someday his baby would be going to Congress just 20 years after we arrived here.
It's truly remarkable. Just slightly over 20 years after arriving in this nation as a refugee with limited English skills, she came from a refugee camp in Kenya. She was born in Somalia. Her family fled to Kenya. Muslim woman wearing hijab. They changed the rules in the House, if they had the vote already on that, so that she could wear hijab because no headgear, any type of headgear was allowed in the House. So there you have that. You also have 2 Native American women Sharice Davids and Deb Haaland, who's been on the show many times before, elected. You had 2 black congresswomen elected from New England, the first time in the history of New England. 2 women, African-American. Massachusetts, Ayanna Pressley, and Connecticut, Jahana Hayes. Both people were trying to get on the show. We really tried during the campaigns. We couldn't. We'll try now. Hopefully their lives will calm down a little. We can get them on the show. Democrat Kyrsten Sinema is the first female senator elected to represent Arizona, the first openly bisexual senator in the history of the United States of America. And on a personal note, it was remarkable watching Rashida Tlaib get sworn in wearing a Palestinian thobe, which is just a traditional Palestinian dress. And Rashida is the first Palestinian-American woman to be elected to Congress and to be sat. She's a Muslim woman. She does not wear a head covering like Ilan. And it made me think of what my late father, who passed away 20 years ago, who was a Palestinian refugee, a Muslim man who came to this country for a better life. And his whole life was about struggle. He worked 2 and 3 jobs and very limited education and didn't think about things like getting involved in politics. It was just about supporting a family. And I wonder, though, what he would think if he saw someone wearing a traditional Palestinian robe, like they wore in his village, being sworn into United States House of Representatives in this exclusive chamber of 435 people who now represents a district in the United States of America. I can only imagine it would have been remarkable. And again, on a personal note, when you have Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib get elected, years ago, it just would have been a nice feeling. But in the time of Donald Trump, if you're a Muslim, he made it clear we do not belong in this country. It's far from disagreeing with us or having differences of opinions. Donald Trump called for a total and complete shutdown on Muslims coming to this country. The next step would have been somehow getting rid of us, if he could have done that. But he called for a ban of over 1 billion people simply because of their faith, and his base cheered, and he won the election. Think about what faith you are, or no faith, say you're an atheist, and you heard a candidate running for president, the leading party candidate for a major party, saying your group, your faith group or your non-faith group should not be allowed in the United States of America, and that person won. How would you feel about, do you belong in the United States of America when your fellow Americans have elected a person like that? But somehow Rashida Tlaib and Ilhan Omar winning undermined that message of Donald Trump. And certainly the protests by people when he tried to impose his first Muslim ban in 2017 said so much, and the huge victory in November in the midterms rejected Donald Trump's bigotry and racism and sexism and corruption. So that's where we are. And let's hear a few clips from Nancy Pelosi today. I'm not going to play a lot, just play a few clips that I really liked from her speech after she swore in everybody. She had all the kids up there. It was a beautiful moment. And here she is saying, and this is a pointed message for Donald Trump. She makes it very clear under her leadership what the House of Representatives will be. And she cites Article 1 of the Constitution. And that is the article of the Constitution that gives the power to our Congress. From everything from waging taxes to going after pirates. It's all in there. I mean, I'm not even kidding. To get rid of piracy. It's all in. I was just reading it the other day, Article 1 of the Constitution again. And that's where all the powers are for our House. And here's Nancy Pelosi making it clear to Donald Trump her view of the House's role and its equal status with Donald Trump, that it's not lesser or inferior, it is equal. And I love this. She makes a subtle point, but it's a very strong point. Here's clip 4.
We enter this new Congress with a sense of great hope and confidence for the future and deep humility and prayerfulness in the face of challenges ahead. Our nation is at an historic moment. 2 months ago, the American people spoke and demanded a new dawn. They called upon the beauty of our Constitution, our system of checks and balances that protects our democracy, remembering that the legislative branch is Article 1, the first branch of government, co-equal to the presidency and to the judiciary.
Co-equal branch right there. And that's what they are. That's what Congress is. Sometimes we forget it. Donald Trump is sometimes bigger than life, and the media runs and covers him like a Kardashian on steroids. It's unreal, but things have changed. In fact, Donald Trump was clearly so upset about the media coverage of Nancy Pelosi, they literally had a press conference today with less than 10 minutes notice given to the media. And I'm not exaggerating because Sarah Sanders tweeted out less than 10 minutes before the press conference. And there's Donald Trump with 3 Border Patrol agents saying walls are good and offering their sentiment that people don't care, the government shut down, and that they're out of work, it's fine. And somehow these three men speak for almost a million federal employees. The arrogance of these three men just is completely consistent with Donald Trump's hubris and arrogance, that they are going to say, and they literally said, no one minds being out of work now of the federal employees because we know we're doing it for the wall. Yeah, go talk to people who can't put food on their table because they don't have a paycheck. The arrogance of these three men. It looked like, I don't want to get it. All right, let's move on. Here is Nancy Pelosi on the first vote they were going to have on the key issues. Here's clip number 5.
To lower health care costs and prescription drug prices and protect people with pre-existing medical conditions. To increase paychecks by rebuilding America with green and modern infrastructure from sea to shining sea. We look forward to working with the President on that. To pass H.R. 1 to restore integrity to government so that people can have confidence that in a government that works for the people, not the special interest. H.R. 1.
And H.R. 1 is important. It's symbolic, yes, because it will not pass in the Senate. But the Democrats in the House are making it clear with H.R. 1, which is deemed a massive anti-corruption bill, aimed at stamping out the influence of big money in politics and curtailing lobbyists in Washington. Its a few highlights include forcing super PACs to report donors, which they don't have to right now, barring Congress from using taxpayers' funds to pay sexual harassment settlements, and reinstating the Voting Rights Act. So there's a lot more to it, but that's the big heart of it. That wasn't the big issues. They're going to have a vote on it right now. And then here is one more clip about Nancy Pelosi talking about where she's going to push hard on the Republicans and then on the Senate to pass legislation that helps people. Let's hear clip number 6.
Keep our sacred promise to the victims and survivors and families of gun violence by passing common sense, bipartisan background check legislation. We will make America fairer by passing the Equality Act to end discrimination against the LGBTQ community.
And both of those are vitally important. Background checks will save lives, and the Civil Rights Act should be amended to include sexual orientation. It's not right now, and it should be. And instead, they're going to have a whole new act to prevent discrimination on a federal level so that even in red states where they don't care if you can be fired for your sexual orientation, on a federal level, we're going to make that illegal. So this is where we stand right now. Yesterday, we were on the precipice of the Democrats taking the House. Now, as we sit here, January 3rd, the Democrats have taken control of the House. And I hope everybody here savors it. I hope everybody here celebrates it. We're going to have up and down times. But today was because everybody who listened, everyone who got involved, everyone who knocked on a door in the rain or the cold or registered voters or made phone calls or told family members to go and vote or voted yourself or made donations, engaged on Facebook or Twitter to make it clear that this election was the most important election of our lives. Well, people listened and we won big. And you earned that. All of us, we earned this together. This is a huge victory for us. Trump knows it. He's fuming today because he knows exactly what's going on. Democrats are already beginning to push investigations of Trump. A Democratic member of Congress, I don't know which in the House, it was just breaking news already, just submitted articles of impeachment against Trump. I'm laughing because it's a little premature. They're a couple hours. Wait till the Robert Mueller report comes out. Then you'll have all the ammunition you need. You don't have the ammunition. We need the Mueller report to do it. But I think that makes me laugh. They already did that. So, but I want to know, how do you feel today? Viscerally, what is your sense today? Do you feel a sense of accomplishment? Do you feel like we can savor and celebrate this? Seeing a diverse House members now that represent America, does that matter to you? It matters so much to me. I'd really like to hear your gut feeling, a visceral reaction to today. Does it feel like we really earned it, we worked it, and you can sleep better? Or is it just a teeny little step to the bigger goal in the long run? And I'd love to hear your visceral response to this, your emotional response. How do you feel today? Do you feel a little bit better about the United States of America? Do you feel a little bit more confident that we're going to take the Senate back and the House and the White House in 2 years? And what next should the Democrats be working on? Because they're going to vote to fund the government, and Trump and the GOP-controlled Senate and Trump are going to say no. But I'm really concerned. I really want to hear, I feel really good today. I'm not kidding you. I feel really good. I feel like we've worked hard. We've seen the system works. If you work hard, you hustle, you win. It's the same roadmap to take the Senate in 2020 and the exact same roadmap to win the White House. And there is no doubt, if Donald Trump was on the ballot in November, we would have won easily. We would have won huge. Would have been over. This nightmare would be ending, and we'd be counting down to the days to him out of office. So I'd love to hear from you. 866-997-4748. You're my guest right to the top of the hour right here on the Dean Obeidallah Show. Be right back. Progressive values are the best of American values, and we need to keep fighting for them to save our country.
Don't go anywhere. This is the Dean Obeidallah Show on Sirius XM Progress 127.